You've probably heard that creating your dream reality is a complex task, that it requires elaborate rituals non-stop, visualization routines, flawless affirmations, and a relentless effort to raise your energetic frequency. But what if I told you that true quantum manifestation is actually shockingly effortless? So effortless, in fact, that most people never truly practice it the right way. Right now, you are immersed in a quantum field, an endless realm of infinite potential, a field that doesn't react to your hustle, but to your alignment. Yet nearly everyone treats manifestation like a battle. They attempt to force their way out of their current circumstances using sheer willpower. They repeat affirmations. They can't fully picture a future. They secretly question and try to think positively while their nervous systems are still trapped in fear, scarcity, and anxiety. And that's exactly where the entire approach falls apart, because in the quantum realm, trying too hard creates resistance. Let's simplify this. Quantum manifestation isn't about chasing what you want, it's about collapsing into the timeline where what you desire is already yours. It's not about fixing the outer world first. It's about generating the internal frequency that draws your desired outcome into your reality. The quantum field holds every scenario imaginable: abundance and lack, joy and pain, connection and isolation. All these outcomes exist simultaneously as waves of potential. But here's the key: none of those waves become real until they meet a focused, coherent observer. And that observer is you. Your perception, your emotions, your attention, these are the tools that shape reality. Yet most people stay locked in feedback loops of lack. They pay attention to what they don't have. They emit frequencies of worry while pleading for success. They live in scarcity while demanding abundance. In quantum language, that's static, not signal. We've been taught to chase what we want, but the true mastery lies in becoming the version of you that doesn't need to chase anymore. The version who knows, I am already entangled with the future I desire. The field is simply waiting for my resonance. Your task isn't to push, it's to attune. So why don't more people approach it this way? Because simplicity is unfamiliar, because surrender feels unnatural, because not striving feels like failure. But here's the paradox almost nobody mentions. When you stop needing something so desperately, you finally create the opening for it to arrive. Let's make this tangible. Think back to a moment when something amazing happened effortlessly. You met the right person by chance. You received an unexpected offer. You had a breakthrough idea when you weren't even trying. What's the pattern? You weren't clinging, you weren't forcing. You were relaxed, receptive, and in flow. That's quantum alignment in action, whether you realized it or not. You see, the quantum field doesn't respond to language. It responds to your energy. You can declare, I am wealthy 1,000 times, but if your nervous system is still wired for lack, if your body is steeped in tension and your heart is closed in fear, the field will echo that inner noise, not the words. Not because it's cruel, but because it's exact. Here's where everything shifts. Real quantum manifestation begins the moment you stop obsessing over what to get and start focusing on who to be. You generate the signal, you radiate the energy. You lead with your internal state, not your external effort. But that leads to a deeper question. What exactly does the quantum respond to? Is it your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs or behaviors? And how do you get all those parts to align so you're not sending mixed signals into the field? This is where traditional manifestation teachings break down. They emphasize fragments, just thoughts or just emotions, without addressing the full picture. They tell you to think positively without healing the trauma trapped in your body. They urge you to visualize without dismantling the subconscious beliefs sabotaging you. They encourage affirmations while your nervous system is still bracing for collapse. But the quantum doesn't just read your words, it reads your entire field. Your whole embodied, integrated vibration. That's why true alignment isn't a mental exercise. It's a system-wide recalibration. Mind, heart, body, and energy working together in coherence. And in the next part of this journey, we're going to unravel the elegant mechanics of the quantum field. We'll explore the observer effect, how wave collapse happens and how your subconscious sends signals even when you don't realize it. You're going to see that what seems like magic is actually precision, and that manifestation is most effective when you stop overexerting and start aligning. So here's a question I want you to really sit with before we continue. Where in your life are you trying so hard that you've become the very resistance to what you're seeking? Are you ready to step beyond the surface and enter the deeper layers of the quantum with me? Let's go further into the mystery you've been brushing against all along. The truth is, the quantum doesn't respond to your hopes or affirmations, it responds to your coherence. At its core, manifestation in this realm isn't just about what you think or how you feel or even what you do. It's about the harmony of all three, working together to send a crystal clear frequency that the field can match without interference. Picture the quantum like a universal translator. When your beliefs, emotions, and behaviors are synchronized, the message is consistent, the energy is steady, and the field responds with almost uncanny accuracy. But when your thoughts say one thing, your feelings say another, and your actions contradict both, the transmission gets scrambled. The field mirrors back confusion instead of clarity. This is the foundation of the observer effect. In quantum physics, at the quantum level, all particles exist in a state of pure possibility, what's known as a wave function. But when an observer focuses on a particular possibility, that wave collapses into one tangible outcome. The potential becomes real. A timeline becomes locked in. But here's the twist: the observer isn't just your conscious mind. Your subconscious is observing too. And even if you consciously want abundance, if your subconscious is rooted in scarcity, fear, or past programming, the field listens to that deeper broadcast. That's why so many people feel stuck. They align their surface-level thoughts, but leave their unconscious patterns untouched. And in the quantum game, the subconscious always carries more weight. But it gets even more fascinating. Scientists like Joe Dispenza and Bruce Lipton have demonstrated that your heart generates an electromagnetic field that's far stronger than your brain's. This heart field extends out and interfaces directly with the quantum field. When your brain and heart are in sync, when your thoughts and emotions support each other, you emit a coherent, powerful signal. But when they're out of harmony, the message fragments. That's why manifestation from the mind alone rarely works without the emotional resonance. Without the felt, embodied alignment, the quantum field receives an incoherent frequency. This is where most people lose the thread. They try to think their way into a new life, when in truth they must feel their way there. The quantum doesn't just want your vision, it needs your embodiment. That means your breath, your body, your habits, your emotions, and your inner narrative, all moving in unison. It's not a one-time effort, it's a living practice. Let's ground this in an example. Imagine you're trying to attract love. You fill out affirmations, you create vision boards, you picture your dream partner. But if, underneath, you carry deep feelings of inadequacy, if your nervous system flinches at the thought of intimacy, if your heart remains closed and guarded, the quantum field picks up on all of that. It senses the dissonance, and so it returns more situations that reflect your inner tension, near misses, unfulfilling connections, prolonged waiting. It's not punishment, it's precision. So how do you change this? You shift into coherence. You generate the emotional reality before the physical one arrives. You act and feel as if the love or the wealth or the health is already present. You become the energy of what you desire. So the field has no choice but to organize reality around that signal. And while it may sound complex, the core truth is deeply simple. The less you try to manipulate outcomes, and the more you tune your inner state, the faster the external begins to change. That's why this method feels almost too simple, and why so few actually do it. Because the mind craves complexity, it wants blueprints, shortcuts, guarantees. But the quantum is not a machine, it's not a slot machine, it's not a checklist. It's a mirror, a partner, a living, intelligent field. And it's always waiting for you to bring your clearest, most grounded, most embodied self to the dance. So here's your invitation. Take a breath right now. Notice your body. Where is it holding? Tension? What thoughts are running? In the background? And for just this moment, soften. Release the need to fix, to force, to figure it all out. Breathe into being okay. Here now with nothing needing to change. That's where your power starts. And if something inside you feels stirred, by this, if you feel recognition lighting up within, you're already on the path. So subscribe to this space, join the dialogue, be part of this shift. And in the comments, drop a single word, the energy, you choose to embody this week. It might be ease, or presence, or faith. Whatever arises first, that's your signal. Declare it, feel it, begin to become it. And if you're ready, we'll go even deeper, because next we're going to explore the part of manifestation no one talks about. The part that feels so obvious. It almost feels like cheating. So why, with so many books, videos, and courses on manifestation, do most people remain stuck? The answer is confronting because surrender feels unsafe. We've been taught to equate struggle with merit. We've been programmed to believe that effort equals value, that control leads to success. So when we discover that alignment and surrender are actually the keys, it disrupts our entire mental framework. We keep pushing, even though pushing is the very signal that says, I don't trust the process. Let's call it what it is. The control trap. It looks like this. You visualize financial abundance, but check your bank account every hour, riddled with anxiety. You script romantic affirmations, but obsessively refresh your dating apps. You declare health, yet every morning you scan your body for signs of illness. What's the signal the field receives? Mistrust, insecurity, resistance. Your conscious mind is saying one thing, but your deeper energy is broadcasting the opposite. Why does this matter? Because the quantum doesn't speak words. It speaks energy. And energy never lies. You can say everything right, but if your body is locked in fear, if your breath is shallow, if your subconscious is full of doubt, the quantum listens to that. That's the real reason so many are drained, disillusioned, and stuck despite doing all the things. People are taking action. Yes, but that action is often fueled by tension, scarcity, and the fear of not having enough. So they remain trapped in a loop. They keep attracting more, waiting more, lack, more struggle, and more grasping. Why? Because energetically, they're not aligned with already having. They're aligned with the pursuit, with trying to get. And this is where things get nuanced. You see, the subconscious governs roughly 95% of your reality. It's the internal autopilot. It quietly directs your habits, your beliefs, your emotional responses, and your entire identity. You might consciously want transformation, but if your subconscious is still operating from outdated narratives like, I'm not good enough, things never work for me, or I have to work endlessly just to survive, then those internal scripts will collapse potential into familiar patterns, the same results you've always known. That's why affirmations without true embodiment feel hollow, why visualizations fail when you're nervous. System isn't in a regulated state. Why action without an identity upgrade leads straight to exhaustion. So where do you begin? First, understand this. Quantum manifestation isn't something you add on like a supplement. It's a systemic recalibration. It's a return, a remembering. It's the process of stepping into the version of you who already lives in the reality you desire, before there's any physical proof. Want to call in abundance? You start by feeling abundant. Now, not later, not once the bank account updates, but now. You offer yourself generosity, presence, and compassion. You stop trying to control the outcome, and instead you lean into the frequency of trust. Want love? Begin by truly loving yourself. Open your heart. Let the walls soften. Become the kind of partner you want to attract. You don't beg for approval. You embody the truth that you are already worthy. Craving health, stop obsessively scanning for what's broken. Begin nourishing what is whole. Shift from surviving to thriving. Thank your body for what it's already doing and gently guide it into more vitality. Here's the paradox. The moment you stop needing something so desperately, it begins to come more quickly. Not because life is teasing you, but because you've dropped the resistance. So let me ask you, where in your life are you still clenching? The wheel with white knuckles? Where are you still tracking, calculating, forcing? What would shift if you loosened your grip, even just 10%? Sit with that. This isn't about apathy. It's not about doing nothing. It's about a deeper shift and from control to co-creation. And that shift, subtle, powerful, liberating, is where quantum manifestation begins. In the next section, we'll explore actual, grounded tools to reprogram your system, regulate your inner state, and become a clear, consistent broadcast to the quantum field. We'll talk about how to dissolve resistance without bypassing your truth, how to build real trust with your subconscious, and how to step fully into your new timeline as if it's already yours. But before we go further, I want to ask, where in your life are you holding on so tightly that you've become the very block you're trying to move? This brings us to the most profound, least discussed truth in quantum manifestation. You don't manifest what you want. You manifest what you are. Let that land. This isn't just poetic. It's foundational. The quantum field doesn't respond to what you say you want. It doesn't care about your vision board or Pinterest perfect affirmations. It responds to your being, your energetic fingerprint, the frequency you carry into your thoughts, your interactions, your choices. And that frequency is built moment by moment, not from what you're doing, but from how you're being. Here's a metaphor. Imagine you're a radio. If you want to hear jazz, you don't scream at the universe to play jazz. While staying tuned to a metal station, you adjust the dial. You match the signal. Quantum manifestation is the same. You can't draw in the timeline of abundance while still vibrating with the frequency of scarcity. You can't receive love while transmitting self-rejection. So how do you adjust the frequency? Start by noticing where you are now, not just in thought, but in feeling. How does your body move through the day? How do you breathe under stress? What unconscious stories are looping beneath your awareness? Most people aren't manifesting consciously. They're manifesting on default, recycling old emotions, beliefs, and energetic broadcasts. And the field, it just mirrors that energy back. The shift begins when you interrupt the cycle, not with force, not with panic, but with presence. Sometimes it's as small as taking a conscious breath during a stress spiral, placing a hand on your heart when doubt kicks in, or asking yourself, what would the version of me who already lives this timeline do right now? Then taking one aligned step from that space. And here's the truth no one talks about. The quantum doesn't need you to be flawless, it just needs you to be coherent. Coherence happens when your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors all point in the same direction. It's when you stop saying one thing, feeling another, and doing something entirely different. It's when your entire system starts resonating with a single signal. Even brief moments of coherence create a gravitational pull in the quantum field. Reality begins bending toward you. So let's ground this. Want to embody abundance? Practice generosity, not just financially, but with your presence, attention, energy. Train your nervous system to feel I am supported even before the numbers align. Want to embody love? Practice vulnerability. Be the space you're hoping someone else will hold for you. Show up with the courage to open, to connect, to feel. Want to embody health? Practice presence. Listen to your body, feed it, move it, rest it. Not from punishment, but from reverence. This is the path. Simple, but rare, because it requires you to go first, to become the frequency before the evidence, to live as the cause, not the effect. And now we reach one of the most misunderstood elements of manifestation: emotional regulation. People often think manifestation means feeling amazing all the time, but it's not about constant joy. It's about honesty. It's about feeling authentically and knowing how to come back to center when you wobble. That means welcoming your emotions, not avoiding them. It means holding fear without letting it drive your choices. It means learning the language of your emotional body so you can ride the waves, not drown in them. Yes, you will wobble. You'll doubt. You'll have days where the old timeline tugs at you. That's human. The power is Not in perfection, it's in the return. So right now, pause, take a breath. Notice where you are. Ask yourself, what timeline am I currently tuned to? Fear or trust? Lack or enoughness, waiting or arriving? No judgment, just awareness. Because awareness creates a doorway, and that doorway is where coherence begins. In the next section, we'll tie everything together. We'll turn insight into practice. We'll explore how to navigate setbacks with grace and how to maintain the frequency that draws your vision into form. But before we continue, thank you for walking this far, for showing up. If something in you is lighting up, if something is awakening, hit that subscribe button. This is more than a video. It's a space, a movement, a remembering. Drop one word in the comments that captures your intention right now. Maybe it's allow, maybe it's rise, maybe it's flow. Whatever it is, that word becomes your signal to the field. Now for the final piece. Manifestation is not a performance, it's a practice. It's not a skill you master and check off a list. It's a way of living, moment by moment, choice by choice. Most people get stuck thinking they need more tools, more techniques. But the most powerful manifestors are not the most knowledgeable. They're the most aligned, the most regulated, the ones who can return to coherence when life gets chaotic, and life will shake you. Fear will sneak back in, old stories will whisper again, the familiar timeline will try to pull you under, and when that happens, you'll be tempted to force, to chase, to contract. But real mastery asks, can you stay in the energy of trust even when there's no proof yet? Can you hold it's already done while everything still looks the same? Can you stay so rooted in the new timeline that the old one no longer seduces you? That's why embodiment isn't optional, it's everything. So here's something practical. Every morning before you touch your phone, pause, breathe, ask, what frequency am I entering today? Scarcity or abundance? Control or surrender? Fear or expansion? Throughout the day, let your body guide you. Your body will tell you when you've fallen out of alignment. You'll feel tightness, resistance, contraction when you notice it. No judgment. Just breathe. Ask, what would the version of me in my highest timeline choose right now? Then do one small thing from that place. At night, as you drift into sleep, reflect not with shame but with curiosity. Where did I stay aligned? Where did I wobble? Where did I catch a glimpse of my power? Gratitude multiplies coherence. Celebrate even the subtlest shift. One last key. Community matters. We are energetic beings. We sync with those around us. When you surround yourself with people who are practicing embodiment, who are showing up in the field with intention, you calibrate to that frequency. So curate your space, not just physically but energetically. Fill your environment with reminders of your chosen reality. Let the outside world reinforce the inner transformation. And remember, there's no final destination. You're not here to arrive and stop. You're here to evolve, to live at the edge of your own becoming, to co-create with the field as a conscious participant in your own unfolding. Because here's the most beautiful part. The quantum field is not something outside of you. It's not some distant force you're trying to impress. It's you. You are entangled with it. You are the field. You are the observer. You are the wave. So when you shift your frequency, you're not just asking life to meet. You're becoming the life you've been asking for. Let me leave you with this. Drop one word in the comments that captures what you're choosing now. Maybe it's alignment. Maybe it's ease. Maybe it's sovereignty. Whatever you choose, let it be a declaration, a seed, a broadcast. And if this stirred something in you, if you remembered who you really are, subscribe, not just to this channel, but to the version of you who creates worlds. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing to wake up. You are not just a viewer. You are a creator. Keep tuning in, keep aligning, keep playing in the field.